Hold on, I'm just gonna use the bathroom really quick before we go to class.
I'm a person who is looking for a gender-neutral bathroom or a single-use bathroom, but even as someone who doesn't have a need for an accessible bathroom, I've noticed that bathrooms are like half designed to be accessible. There are the bigger stalls that are usually kind of designated as accessible stalls within some of the bathrooms, but the doors themselves aren't accessible. They don't have auto open. The ones in the innovation studio don't, even though they're marked as the accessible bathrooms. There's plenty of bathrooms with those big stalls that like it's a door on a hinge that doesn't even like go all the way, it like pushes back. So it's really interesting that certain things are marked as accessible when they don't seem so accessible.
So here I am going to use the bathroom. I can see there's a little bit of a lip right here, so that'll probably be hard coming back out. So the doorway is not completely open. Let's see if I can actually get through. Yeah. That was not good because you couldn't stay. So, as you can see, this bathroom doesn't have an accessible stall. So, this door again, to get back out. As I've mentioned, there's that lip, so I can't actually go over it. I have to do a wheelie up and over. Now I'm gonna go down to the other bathroom to see how that is.
For the most part, some of the newer buildings have pretty accessible bathrooms, but the older buildings on campus, like AK, Salisbury, Poland, have lesser accessible bathrooms, and something like this is not uncommon for them.
That's pretty ominous, having a very steep staircase right here. And this door is, again, half open, which is not going to be fun. And there's no doorknob, so that'll make getting out pretty difficult. So if I were to use this bathroom, I guess I'd have to wheel up to it, kind of angle myself over, get parallel, and kind of push myself over like that. But now the challenge is I have wet hands and the paper towels are over there. So the only real option is to get my hand burns wet, and they'll probably stay wet for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Then getting out of here is going to be a little tricky with how everything is. Don't have a ton of space. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this door doesn't have a doorknob, so it's going to be quite a challenge to get out. But, this kind of hurts, actually. Fuck. That really hurt. Oh, got a pretty bad cut here.
Never tell if this thing works or not. Squeeze the top two inches in here, look cute.
Shoot, now I'm late for class.
Identify as trans, masculine, and non-binary. One of the problems that comes with that on this campus is finding gender-neutral bathrooms. It's always a time and it's a decision of, do I go to another building to go to the bathroom? Do I just suck it up if someone's in the only gender-neutral bathroom, if a building even has one? So that's always a time. Some buildings I just, I have to go up. It's like I don't want to trek to another building and I'm busy and I'm doing work, so I just, I go to the women's bathroom only because that's the bathroom that I've used all my life, even if it's not necessarily the bathroom that I would be comfortable in. So the access to bathrooms is really tough based on like where you are. Because sometimes you just have to go to a building in which the bathroom just they don't align with, again, your gender, and you don't feel comfortable in these bathrooms, and it's just a lot of times not worth going to find a space you're comfortable in just because, you're running between classes or just you're in that building, and to walk to a whole nother building when, especially, it's like not right next door, is really like quote unquote a time waster as much as it's something that would be more comfortable.
Some days, my class schedule did not have any classes in buildings that had gender-neutral bathrooms. Because of this, if I had to use the restroom, I would have to hold it either until my lunch break or until the end of the day. Over the course of the school year, this inability to use the restroom when I needed to caused me to develop cramps and pain in my abdomen any time that I need to use the restroom. Because of this pain and because of my need to use the restroom during class, I would have a hard time focusing on the professor and would, in turn, miss quite a bit of the material. There were multiple occasions where a whole class would pass and I wouldn't even notice because I was focusing more on my own discomfort than on what was being taught.
When I go between classes, I have to think about where I will stop to go to the bathroom because the building is not accessible. This can make it challenging, and sometimes I've actually been late to a class or lab because I've had to go out of my way to use the bathroom in a more convenient building or more accessible building. It also has made some of my labs take longer because I've been in a building that does not have good bathrooms, so I have to go to a different building and add an extra 10 minutes or so just to use the bathroom. Something like this can be really frustrating to me because I see all my peers who don't have to worry about something like this, and for me it's something that I very frequently have to deal with. I'd love to see WPI renovate all of the buildings and the older buildings to have a more accessible bathroom that everyone can use.
Bottom line is that everyone should have access to a bathroom that they feel comfortable in. And some people, that may just mean like they're shy in public. But no matter what the reason is, it's not important that there's a reason. If someone wants access to an accessible, single stall, gender neutral restroom, they should have access. So creating more of those spaces is really important.